Chapter 33, Fundamentals of Hydraulic and Air-over Hydraulic Braking Systems, Day 1, Video 8, Disc Brakes. So I talked about the popularity of disc brakes used more and more in hydraulic braking systems just because of the increased braking action that we can have. It does things a little bit different. So we've got the spinning disc in the middle here, and then what we do is we force the brake shoes or the brake friction material into that spinning disc, like clamps around it or squeezes around that rotor, and that's what causes the braking friction, and then the braking force is slowing it down. Cast iron or composites, and then attached directly to the axles, becomes part of the wheel assembly or the hub assembly, as opposed to drum brakes that slide over our wheel studs. So to stop the truck, we are forcing the brake pads hydraulically, using hydraulic pressure to push those pads on both sides of the rotor to squeeze it between the rotor between the two friction materials, like clamping around that disc. That's what causes the friction. All right, so we've got a cast iron disc. The friction materials causes a lot of the braking friction, and then the heat. And then here's where the advantage of our disc brakes come in over drum brakes is a very small area of that disc is used to slow down, create the friction, and now we've got the entire rest of that surface area being exposed to the air so that it can cool down. So it creates the heat very quickly for the friction, braking friction happen, and then cools down very quickly too. It dissipates that heat out, transfers the heat out to the atmosphere. Also in the center of this disc, it's got like a built-in fan, so we can see a gap between in the middle of that rotor, and then we've got some fan-shaped castings inside there that, so as this rotor is spinning, it's pulling air through the center and forcing that air out through the middle of that rotor, cooling it. So it's like a built-in fan to cool the disc brake rotor, so it's able to give that heat up a lot faster. A lot less prone to brake fade and recovery time because it gets rid of that heat very quickly. Disadvantage, I guess, is no servo effect, but that's made up for with its ability to get rid of the heat. Disc brakes that improves as the components heat up. The braking performance improves as they get hotter because we can get rid of that heat faster just because of the built-in lots of surface area that's not being used to cool, and then the built-in fan. Drum brakes, as they get hot, they become less effective. And we do have kits where we can retrofit on disc brakes in place of drum brakes as a popular upgrade.